Is Dabo down for good? Welcome to the Voice of College Football, breaking down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis based on your participation. And the best opportunities, of course, with Tiger Paw Craven and Jordan Bowman on Fridays right here on the Clemson channel, the All-In Show, 5:30 Eastern Time. Bring your comments and questions. We are looking at various teams across college football and measuring the win percentage chance, according to the Voice of College Football. Of course, this is a Clemson program that was right on that top tier, and maybe it was just Bama and Clemson for 5 or 6 years. Dropped down to a top 10 status in 2020, have not seen the top 10 in the final rankings the past 3 years, and in fact, despite a bowl win to finish at 9-4 last season, their worst record since Dabo's first campaign in 2010. If Clemson's going to prove to be elite once again, they certainly have an opportunity in week 1 against the consensus number 1 team, the Georgia Bulldogs in Atlanta. Let's give the Tigers a 22% chance against the Bulldogs on August 31st. This, of course, was a 10-3 rock fight with a pick 6 costing Dabo and DJ Uiagalelei a chance at a victory in 2021 to open the season in Charlotte. The next most difficult game in our estimation is the trip to Tallahassee to take on the defending champion Florida State Seminoles on October 5th. Will give Clemson a 44% chance of winning. They lost the game in 2022, of course, for the first time in 8 seasons. At Virginia Tech, much is made of the Hokies' resurrection this past season under Brent Pry at 7-6 with a bowl victory. And they've got one of the top returning production numbers in all of college football. Blacksburg, a difficult place to play. It will be November. We don't know if it's going to be a night game, but Clemson's got to go to Blacksburg. Give them a 65% chance of coming away with a win. Louisville, NC State, very similar football teams. Clemson's got both of them at home. Give them a 70% chance against a really good head coach in Jeff Brom and incoming quarterback from Texas Tech, Tyler Shook, on the first weekend of November. They've got a September date against NC State, and of course the Wolfpack won the matchup in 2023, and they've got a new quarterback as well in the prolific Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina. The date at Pitt, of course, reminds us that Clemson went there in 2021 when they were reigning over the ACC for 6 consecutive years and lost at Pitt as the Panthers went on to win the conference that year. This Pitt program was 20-6 the past 2 seasons under Pat Narduzzi, but stumbled badly at 3-9, and they will try a new quarterback in Nate Yarnell. It's November 16th, so the weather could be a factor at Pitt. Give Clemson an 82% shot at winning. I actually like Virginia to have a slightly better chance of winning against Clemson than South Carolina. Here's my thought process here. The Cavaliers were tough most of last season despite a 3-9 finish. They beat Duke. They beat North Carolina, 2 8-5 football teams. They took Miami to the wire and Louisville on the road to the wire. They had a fourth quarter lead against both those teams. South Carolina, on the other hand, in a bad way right now. They've got a redshirt freshman quarterback starting. Give Clemson a 90% chance of going back-to-back in the win column after losing in 2022 for the first time since 2013 against Steve Spurrier. The Wake Forest game, no more Sam Hartman. Wake Forest on a downturn, even though Dave Clawson's an excellent football coach. This roster is depleted. They've got Hank Bachmeier coming in at quarterback from Boise State via Louisiana Tech. That game on October 12th. It is in Winston-Salem, but that is hardly a house of horrors. Again, Wake Forest was a bit of a difficult spot with Sam Hartman, but he is long gone. App State has the giant killer rep, of course. They took North Carolina to overtime this past season. They've got quarterback Joey Aguilar coming back after a nice season by him and a veteran offense. So App State could be a bit of a tricky go on September 7th, especially if the Tigers have a hangover from the Georgia win in upset fashion or a disappointing loss. Stanford might be the worst team in the Power 4. They are so bad that Wake Forest has twice as good of odds, according to Vegas, to win the ACC championship than incoming Stanford. So give Clemson a 95% chance of winning that game on the final weekend of September. And then, of course, the Citadel is basically a scrimmage before the South Carolina tilt. So we go 99% on that one. So if we simply go by those percentages, Clemson will go 10-2. However, those are not predictions, but those are where I'm leaning right now in regards to the odds of Clemson winning those football games. Of course, I'll make my predictions the week of the game. Considering the ACC this season, with 17 teams and only playing 8 conference games, you play 8 conference games, you miss 8 opponents in the conference. So that's key to the championship race here. Clemson does not play Miami, North Carolina, Syracuse, BC, Duke, Georgia Tech, and 2 of the 3 newcomers in SMU and Cal. Our look at the Clemson schedule and percentage odds of Clemson winning each game. The difficult trips, again, Georgia in Atlanta, but in terms of focusing on the ACC and trying to get that championship and the automatic bid to the college football playoff at Florida State in October. Appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. Again, join Jordan and Tiger Paw Craven every Friday at 5:30 Eastern Time for the All In Show right here at the Voice of College Football.